What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? What is going on? Oh, wait, hold up. Let me get my shit together first. All right, y'all. If y'all new to my channel, it's Paris with your Tarot. And if you're new to my channel, please make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you're feeling the girl. All right. So we have an amazing guest. This is one of my homegirls. She is one of ones. All right, we going global with it. Okay, and I want you guys to definitely, show the love. Okay, I'm gonna put all the information so you guys could patronize her. All right, and I want y'all to show love. This right here is different. I feel like we're opening up Saturn's daughter, so everyone worldwide could be able to get to know the cool people that we have, like literally, like it's I know some cool ass people, I'll just let you know. So I'm very very excited to put this sister up. And like I said, she is a native. Okay, she'll break it down, because I personally thought that she was from. I thought she was Australian, but she actually broke it down. Was like, no, boo, she just lives there, okay, on native land. So I really had to like break it down and understand, and we're gonna find out together, because we're a little ignorant over here. But ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I want to really introduce y'all to one of my homegirls. She's been around for a hot minute, and her style is so creative. She's very creative. Her and her partner are like the match made in heaven. Shout outs to her partner. I see you out here. He definitely fucks with Alegua. You already know, gang. So yeah, I'm gonna put her up. Let's bring her, introduce her. What is up, y'all? What's up, baby?
Hey sis, can you hear and see me okay?
Yes, we could see you. We could see
Amazing.
you.
Yes, kia ora everybody. Kia ora just means hello in my language, in Te Reo Māori, which is the indigenous people of Aotearoa, which you guys might know as New Zealand. Right now, I'm on Quandamooka country, which is also known as Redland Bay or the Redlands area. It's a city, Minjin or Brisbane in Australia. I'm Tongan, Fijian, Māori, uh, but
Can
we
you
just call it Moananui.
so tell us, like, this tribe that you're a part of? You're actually glitching again. Oh man,
Oh no.
you're
Yeah.
glitching.
I
Yeah,
can see everything well. We'll just give it a second.
yeah.
Let me
I
know.
hear you. I hear you. I just don't. You kind of froze. Sorry, you guys. This is
Okay.
this happens. Um,
No, we worldwide.
yeah. We this actually, the time zone difference is really big. Like, what time is it over there? Oh, I think she's fixing everything up. But yes, y'all. This is her Instagram. This is her PayPal. Please, like I said, this is not easy. She will be doing some predictions. Oh, there we go. We
Yes, yes.
see
Okay.
you.
Y'all know how it
Yes.
is, first of all.
Hey.
Yes. Okay. You can see me?
Yes, we see you.
Okay, okay.
All right.
But yeah. I think you were asking me a question about my tribe.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm from many because I'm from many islands. I'm from New Zealand, Aotearoa. People might know the Maori people from the haka and things like that. But I'm also Tongan, and I'm from Nuku'alofa. And originally, my ancestors are from Vavau, on like the cusp of colonization. A lot of Native people in America, in Africa, down here, especially with colonization, we had to move into the main cities. And I'm sure Paris can vouch for this because they live in the main city. So these hubs become our culture, our tribe, our people. But then they get gentrified. But that's another thing. but tea. But yeah, I identify as Moana Nui a Kiwa. You guys might know the movie Moana, like from Disney. But
Yes.
Moana is yes, you know Moana. Moana is actually how we identify the ocean, our sea, the Pacific, and it's also a deity, our mother goddess that's similar to Yemoja or Oshun, but specifically for the ocean water. Yeah, her name's Hine Moana. And she rules all marine life. She rules over women, the priestesses of the ocean, who deal with like divination, different medicine within all of the animals, because the animal kingdom within the ocean and marine life is so vast, and like our spirits and our ancestors actually go to the bottom of the ocean as they're traveling to the next realm, to the ancestral realm. So the ocean is really important within all Indigenous peoples. So Moana Nui Akiwa is to include people from Hawaii, from Guam, because Guam and Hawaii are U.S. territories, and Rapa Nui, which is I think they're a Chilean or Peruvian, I can't remember, Chilean or Peruvian state. So all of these islands have been colonized by other people. So calling us Moana Nui Akiwa includes all the islands, all people, if you are from the Pacific Ocean, if that makes sense. So
And you know what's so crazy? My family is Honduran. We're Garifuna, and
yeah,
when my family comes here, even my grandparents, they always have a house by the water. And
yeah,
subconsciously, I don't think that they know because they're very, or maybe they do know, we don't know. But I do
yeah,
know that it is this connection to the water that
yes.
the indigenous people have. Like, even when I've gotten my astrology done, I forgot what's called astrotography, when you do the like to see
Oh,
where
yeah,
you did.
yeah.
I am supposed to be by the water. That is
Oh,
best for me. Yes, that's best for
wow.
me. So you saying this is just like I instantly connect with that because I
Yeah,
connect with the water very, very much. So
yeah.
let me ask you a
Love that.
question. What
Hmm.
age did you find yourself more into the culture? When did you start to feel like you were a divine, the divine empress that you are?
I think not only me, but I think everybody goes through these moments in their life where it's almost initiation, whether it's self or it's communal, or through ATR or your culture, your community, your tribe. I feel like we go through many realizations and coming into understanding of your power, your culture. Because when you're a child, you're like automatically connected with your people, your elders, and it's more encouraged to be yourself. But as you get older, you kind of get told to colonize yourself or to hide your tattoos, hide your big hair, hide your name from jobs or whatever it may be. So I feel like I grew up in a really white area, and I was kind
Mhm.
of like the black sheep. I was othered. All Aries can understand. You kind of feel
Yeah.
othered and just don't understand yourself. And there's this anger and this deep justice that wants to be served from your ancestors. And I always felt like I had ancestors around me, specifically women, matriarchs, priestesses, those stories who weren't told, that were like knocking on my ear, like, we need to be told. And you need to revive our culture when it has to do with goddess symbology, goddess worship, and spirituality. Because from colonization, so many people have been colonized, whether it's the Americas, Africa, you name it, we've been colonized. So just reclaiming your culture and your spirituality is resistance in itself. So I really felt like around my teenage years, like 14, again, talking about initiations, women, queer people, they, them, whoever would have been initiated at certain ages in their life. So I felt like when I was moving into that energy of out of a child, you start understanding more of your duality, who
Mhm.
you are, your authenticity. Um, so I just kind of stuck with that. Anything to do with history, knowing who I am. My mom's a history teacher, an English teacher. So writing and knowing your history was quite normal for me. Um, and my grandma was just like, my mom's mom was always at the protests, always talking about knowing your rights. And because she's white, so she would even speak about being an ally and just showing up. So it was very much in my space. But when it comes to practicing, I feel like all colonized people, it's quite hard for us to reclaim our identity because um, culture has been disbanded. So we're not in our homelands and we're not in our spaces and our environment.
Mm.
Like, Oshun is not just a goddess, she's a river, she's a system, she's a being. So it's hard when you're away from those actual spaces that embody your goddesses and embody your ancestors. So I just had to find a way where I could connect to my culture, being in the diaspora. And I'm not going to drag it on too long, but it was definitely spaces in which I was going through quite a lot of trauma. So the goddesses, the dark mother, spirituality, understanding your psyche and how your shadow works was always very interesting to me.
Hmm.
Um, so I feel like the occultist comes from being a woman, being a person, going through this human experience and these levels in which you reach. And you think you're there every time and you just keep going. Yeah.
Let
So
me. So is there any like? Are you the first in your family to do magic? Are you the first one to get into the practice, or was this
um,
something that was handed down to you? Um,
I feel like I feel like it's all Indigenous people, or Black, African, Indigenous. It's all our birthright to practice these ancestral ways. Sometimes it's just we're not used to it. Our people don't practice. So my mom's white. She's a teacher, and my dad. I feel like in a way our people don't have to practice. Like you said, your grandparents automatically go to the ocean because they know it's ancestral to go to where you are called. So um, in my immediate family, yes, but I feel like our people that surround us, they don't have to practice magic to be magic and to have these archetypes and these things. So I just picked up on I'm just chosen to voice it. And the more you voice it, you actually come to understand that a lot of your family or people do practice or do have, oh,
yes.
your aunt used to do this, your grandma used to do this. And the more that I'm open, my dad will tell me stories of like my great grandpa or my auntie throwing spells on my grandma or just something
Yep.
that's just like, wow, like that makes much more sense. And in the colonial world, understanding magic is very woo woo, but understanding it in a Black and Indigenous is as normal as breathing. So it's just
Okay.
like the occult. You have to start pointing out the signs and realizing. Um, but I just hope with what I do that everyone can understand that they
Yeah.
are like me and I'm like them, and they can practice whether they identify as an occultist or spiritualist. Um, Everyone has their role. So
Yes.
yeah, but
So
yeah, I didn't learn from anyone besides the people around me and from life experience.
okay. So when
Yeah.
did you start? When did you start reading, and what kind of style of reading do you like? What kind of practitioner work would you say? Like, are you um like for
Mm.
me, right? I read tarot, but I also read other things like cards,
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
regular playing
I
cards.
see the bone.
I do
Yeah.
the bones readings, and I'm learning how to read shells. So,
Yes.
like, what kind of readings do you do? And
That's a
like,
good question.
yeah,
I love that question because divination is like the kind of practice that we're all doing when we are asking the universe for these certain questions because there's certain ways in which each divination works. They're all real different. I feel like being Indigenous, learning like natural divination, like when you go out in nature and you can read the clouds, you can know when it's going to rain, you can just know all these things. Like that is to me um, our first form of divination. It's knowing the land, knowing the elements, knowing the animals and the different changes with elemental seasons, like the equinox, the solstice, all of them, our tupuna, our ancestors aligned with their planting, with their celebrations, with their building of things, and whatever other universal and star energies were out there at whatever given time. But yeah, I started with just reading people. Like, you don't even need cards. You can read the people around you, start understanding situations, and then you're reading nature. And especially as witches, as women, we have this deep connection to Earth Mother. So when we go into nature, we can deeply connect through our breath, through communication, through chanting, talking, just letting whatever's on our mind out. So nature and divination was kind of like healing for me to get in touch with my destiny. But I feel like I mostly read my clients with cards. Um, but it's not necessarily like a reading, it's kind of like um, I really encourage all of my people, all of my queer or Pacifica Indigenous people who have been heavily Christianized or, you know, had that upbringing to come to me if they feel like, yeah, I'm very much that person. Like, we have a lot of our own people leaving the church, so I make that space for those women, those queer people, whoever, to be like, there's other things out there. It's very hard to find our own stories out there, gods, goddesses, orishas that aren't whitewashed. So I want to be that space so people can come, know that there are people like me. And those readings are always ancestral. They're always, like we were talking about before, uplifting people where they are. Because in this day and age, in this time, we need people to affirm each other, to see each other. So I
Yes.
trust that every single person who comes to me for a reason. They are just as gifted, just as special, just as sad, angry, and sacred as me. So I need to acknowledge that, because that's why they come to readers, because we see things, the hidden mind, the hidden goddess, Minaro, we see things that others don't, and we need to give a voice to it. We need to make that safe space. So yeah, my readings is just safe space for witches and those alike to tap into their gifts and, you know, all of that.
Okay. So, um, before we get into, because I would love for you to do a collective reading
Oh
for
yeah.
Lovely Collective, but before we get into it, um, when you open up your way, or when you you know, because every I would even want to call it a reader. I remember this numerologist, I forgot what he called. We're a consultant. We consult people. We
Yes,
help them.
literally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because so everybody has their own way of opening up the way and closing their way. Do you speak in your native tongue? Do you feel like that's more connected? Like, do you use the native tongue for you to open up, the way? Um yes?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a really good question, because in my culture, we actually have all these different things. My culture is a very protocol driven culture. So there's a lot of, not rules, but there's protocol on how you do things. You can't just run around like a colonizer and do what you want. So when you're opening a space, we have these things, it's called a wharenui, or a marae, and it's a huge house that is for the community, it's for the tribe, and our ancestors built it. Each tribe, or hapu and iwi, has one. But you actually can't walk onto that house without them calling you on. And so you'll be at the house, like there's a house here, a big carved house, like beautiful. If you've seen them, you can look them up, and there'll be an entryway, like a gate. It's literally like you're at the gateway of the crossroads or something like that. So the visitors who are coming to visit the tribe have to be called on. So there'll be a woman. There's always a woman, an elder, an auntie, because in our culture, only a woman can open up the gateways to the spirit realm. So we have a thing called a karanga, which is called a call, and it actually has origins within our Earth Mother called Papatuanuku. Papatuanuku, our Earth Mother, and Ranganui, the Sky God, were embraced so tightly that no light could live within them. And their children got so, one child and a few of them wanted to separate them. So they did, and from that, the world of light and everything was built. But in that separation, the Earth Mother let out a cry, and it literally vibrated into the echoes of the universe, and it still vibrates on into this day. And it talks about this energetic energy moving through the universe that we can always tap into if we call into it. So all of the women in our cultural protocols actually mimic stories about the gods and stories about how our world came to be. So there is a real importance, just like Papa Legba or Pombajita, whoever it is, to open the gateways, and to know that certain people have that role, whether it's someone who's a Baron Samedi, within their cemetery, they can open the way to the dead, or it can be a wahine over here, a grandmother, who can call you onto the space. And a karanga is a call out to the gods, and there's many different types of communications that you can have with the universe, whether it's chanting, incantations, spell work, prayer, a call. So when you tap into your own Indigenous knowledge, it just gets more in depth and more amazing. So I do encourage everyone, if they're on here and they have an Indigenous culture or a culture that they're from, start learning the language, and your ancestors will respond, because
Yes.
they're
they say, the power of the tongue is very important. And so, that's why it's like even imperative for us to know what we say, what we
Yeah.
speak. And as
Mm,
a light worker, or just a worker, right? Because
mm,
there's no light without dark. And I would like to really highlight that, because people, when they come towards readers, or whatever you want to call them, they have this thing of like, well, if they're gonna put like black magic, or
mm,
are you a black, or you're a
mm,
dark worker, or you're a light worker. And
mm.
what I'm realizing here is that you need to be able to defend yourself,
Yeah.
also be able to heal yourself. So it
Mm,
is both.
yeah.
It's both.
Yes. Yes.
People want to exit out the dark work without acknowledging the light work, because
Yeah.
sometimes you have to remove the darkness to bring in the
Mm,
light. So,
yes. That.
I know that there has been a big there's just like this big like stigmatism
Mm,
with just bones. Like even me doing bone
yeah.
work, some people's like, "Oh my
Mm,
god, like what are you
oh my
doing?"
God.
Like, and
Yeah.
it's just
It's
it's
racism. It's
elements.
being racist. Like it's so
It
racist.
makes
It's
no
so
sense, and you could just
yeah.
tell we've been so brainwashed
Yeah.
that when you start to get back into your roots, the elements, candles, ma
Mm,
you know, anything, runes, any bones, these are
yeah.
things that is a part of us. You get what I'm
Yes.
saying? Before all of the TV and everything. So I definitely agree with you.
Period. Period. No,
Yes.
I love shadow work. All cultures around the world have their own embodiment of the Dark Mother, its creation itself. And so I really encourage everyone as well to continue doing that shadow work, tap into the Dark Mother. It's Scorpio season, like now is the time. We're all in the underworld right now. Like look
Yes.
around, look what's going on. This shit, it's fucking scary out here. So we need to protect each other, like you said, and heal each other. Period.
Yes.
I love it.
That's
Yeah.
why, as I'm about to get you to do your reading. You have your
Oh,
cards?
really? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But one thing I do love about like you're so cultured, you're so into what you're in, and I see your following is getting big because you're making a way for people to get more into their culture, into their ethnicity, and I love that. That's why I was like, no, I
Yeah.
have to have you on the show.
I love that. I love you.
I
Period.
love you
I see
too.
you. I'm gonna get some cards. Give
Yes.
me a sec.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, she's gonna give us a little reading. We're gonna do a collective reading. What's this is her style of reading. Everybody has different styles, and if you're interested in a reading from her, this is her PayPal right here. Make sure you hit her Instagram, follow her on Instagram. And like I said, every person has a different way of divination, so let's respect it. And like I said, let's get those likes up. Make sure that you go and patronize her. And
I'm gonna
yes,
share. I'm gonna share the live once we're done.
yes. Let me
Yeah, I'll share the
put
live
this
once we're
on.
done.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna say a quick prayer, and
Yes.
then I'm just gonna get to it. Okay. This is called a karakia, a karanga, a calming prayer. Karanga ana ahau ki ngā tūpuna o ako whakapapa, koutou ana tia hau ki te korowai o Ranganui. Koutou ana puratia te mataranga o aku whānau, me te aroha me te koanuanu. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Me te aroha me te koanuanu e whakamori ana ahau, e rapa atu ana ahau mō. Nā koha a tō arahitanga, kia ka ahe, ahau ki te tawhai, te ara ari ari I te wā, te hikoi o toku ora. And the translation for that is I call to the ancestors of my bloodline who shine from the cloak of Ranganui, our sky father. You who hold the wisdom of my family, with love and respect I greet you, with love and respect I honor you. I ask for the gift of your guidance that I may travel a clearer path in my life's journey. So I'm going to pull one tarot from a Native American deck. It's one that I pull a lot, and then I'm going to pull a card from the Maori deck, and I'm going to read the direct meaning from there, maybe even get a little bit more. I usually use other cards, but they're all like, since I came back from America, everything's just everywhere. So,
I really loved the prayer. The prayer was very, like, I felt it in my heart. Like, I felt it in my heart. And actually, since you came on the live, I've been feeling this. I've been feeling like chills. Like every time you speak about like just your, I don't know, like you just do something to me. And I mean, that's what it happens, right? Like,
no,
but
I feel
yes,
that. No, I feel that with you too. Like, I've been feeling like when I pulled the cards out, the heart chakra energy already came out before I started like shuffling.
yes.
Very much like heart expansion. Like, I see you, sis, and I acknowledge you. Like, I'm so.
I'm a muted now. I'm a muted because I know I could be an interruption. I'm a muted.
Girl, I know. What's your sign again?
Pisces.
Hi, Pisces. That's why our
Yes,
Pisces is seeing each other's Pisces. I see that.
yes.
I love that. All right, I'm gonna pull a
I'm a
card from
muted
the
now.
Okay, I'm gonna pull a card from this deck. So yeah, just calling on the ancestors to bring us an accurate possible reading. Okay, so two came out. We got the whale's tail and we got the Modi, which is the life force. It's usually a tiki, and I'm gonna read it. I don't know if you guys can see, but in Māoridom, Modi is called the life force. This is the life force that emanates throughout the whole universe, past, present, and future. Nothing and everything. Especially if you're feeling low, if you're feeling disconnected, especially in these times, it's a great time to connect with your life force, your vitality, your Modi. So you can do breath work. You can have warming herbs and, cinnamon, peppers, honey, turmeric. I love turmeric. That's an ancestral herb in the Pacific, which is really good for women. It's good for inflammation and pregnant women and all of that. But okay, so Modi, and then we got Bakake, which is the whale. So I'm gonna read it real quick because they're very short meanings, and then I'll do a closing prayer. Thank you again for letting me read. This is really lovely. So we have Modi. I'm going to hold it up while I quote it all. Modi, abundance and fertility. All has its purpose and all is connected. And it's called a talisman of life. You might see Māori people wear them around their neck, their little heitiki. Modi exists everywhere. There is a life in the forest, in the earth, and in the sea, and in everything that lives and breathes. It is the divine energy that connects everything. The first seeds to be sown and the first root crops to be planted were considered the living representative of life force, of Modi, the life force that would be gifted to the whole of the crops and in turn the whole of humankind. Because of this gift, the first kumara, the first sweet potato, the first tuapora, the first fruits, and the tai, the first catch of the fish, were always given back to their respective gods. We call them atua, or wahine atua, which is the women goddesses, the goddesses. And in doing this, it ensures that the gift of life can be continually provided. Sometimes a tohunga, an oracle, would imbue a tohunga, a tribal treasure, with the essence of life force. And that would then become the physical presence of the abundance of that tribe. So yeah, that was the meaning of that card. It always speaks about inanimate objects actually having life. So if you do feel stagnation anywhere in your space right now, the ancestors are reminding you of your life force. You are alive. You are able. If you are on this live, and yeah, I just love this. Is always a connection to the ancestors, but specifically something that you can do. Like practical magic, like they said, you are giving the first offerings back to the gods. So if you are wanting to get a clear passageway, like we were talking about, if you're wanting to open the the road, if you are wanting to do something like that, there's an offering that must be given to your ancestors, an offering from your heart. It doesn't just have to be physical. Go to the altar, go to the water, go to your ancestors, whoever, speak from your heart, and don't, like you said, don't just do the light work. Tell them what's on your fucking heart and watch them transmute and transform that. Modi is the essence of alchemy. We're in Scorpio season, so don't be afraid of that. And then I'm just going to read Bakake, which is real simple as well. They're very short meanings. But this is a whale tale. And this has to do with friendship, which is cute because we're on here right now connecting. And especially now, your comrades, your spirit fam, your tribe, you're never alone. So this is Bakake. This means the whale. This means friendship and seek the comfort of friends. In ancient times, the bonds of friendships were very strong between man and the whale. By the way, my people like had whales as pets and their ancestors. So we was out here riding on whales, guys.
Wow.
The whale was the kaitiaki, the guardian, the guide, and the friend to many tribes. Their friendships were sacred, as were they, and their names were all remembered. So strong were the bonds that often they surpassed death. According to legend, Paikye, a very famous ancestor, arrived in New Zealand on the back of a whale named Tahora, who rescued him from drowning. On another occasion, the murder of the whale Tutunui was an immediate call to war. In Kaikoura, the descendants of Te Raika Tauneke still look out for the descendants of his friend the whale, the, mat- the mata mata, that means the two eyes. For this reason, many Maori face the sea with confidence because of these age-old legacies. And I just feel like this is Oshun, Yemoja, Hine Moana, especially because it's Friday there. It's the day of the divine goddess and the divine feminine and Venus. Um, yeah, we have ancient connections. It's not just, the person or the cat down the road, as like one of my fave guys on YouTube says. It's
Yes.
not just that, it's literally like you have ancient bonds with animals, with certain environments, certain people, and now we are calling them forth. So call through those ancient ancestors, those support systems, because I feel like we're just going to start seeing a lot of spiritual stuff pop off as well. Like, we know that Lasarians are real. We know in the Caribbean and Moanenui Kiwa, the different beings that walk among us. So I want us to be aware of those certain energies that are here because they're going to come in handy in these times. Because I tell you, the colonizers ain't got spirits. The colonizer ain't got a heart to begin with. So definitely your ancient old traditions, connections, like there are people watching out for you from generations and generations and generations ago.
Yes.
So that's the tea, and I hope you guys received that message.
Listen, that was so good, and it is so right and exact right now because and like on an astrology note, I know that we are having these transits, and with these
Mm.
transits, we're gonna be having a little slowdown when it comes down to certain things.
Mm.
But it's good because then it gives people the time to really be able to really realize and analyze the things that they need and what they don't need because we're always
Yes.
moving and things are always moving fast. So when we're able to actually sit and be able to
Yes.
realize the thing, and that is the shadow work like you were speaking about.
Yes.
That
Mm.
is the shadow work that people are trying to avoid, but we
Yes.
need that. One of the things that you had spoke about, well, one of the cards you picked out was
Mm.
speaking about an offering, and
Mm.
so when for those for newbies who
Mm.
wants to come into the practice, how
Mm.
would you go about giving an offering to your ancestors?
There's so many different ways to give offerings. If you are a wahine or a woman or a they, them, whoever, if you bleed and you have your period, you can actually give your period blood back to the earth. That aligns to goddess traditions, and that's how my people and women work within my culture. It's a deep connection between the blood, the earth, the womb, because the same word for womb is the same word for the earth in my culture. So there's a big connection to the placenta, to the earth. So you can always, first of all, like before you even give an offering, think about your ancestral people. You might not know what the land looks like, but imagine the land of your people, the ocean and the sky, and you really call on your ancestors of sea, sky, and ocean. And when you're giving your offering for the first time, keep it simple. Like I said, offer things from your heart, but also things like a glass of water, an incense, a simple candle, tea light, um, a little piece of fruit, a piece of cake, like if you're having something for dinner and you want to put like, never has to be a big thing because there's animal, like, you know what I mean, you don't want like flies and things coming on the altar, especially I live in a place where it's a lot of animals. So definitely just giving simple things, a little sweet, a little water, and it's about your intention. So when you go to the altar, when you're giving an offering, don't expect anything in return. That's just what you do. In my culture, Fakafetai, it's called gratitude. When you take something from a plant or from anything, you have to give something back. So if you were asking for something particular, I would actually work your offerings with that specific thing. If you're wanting sweetness, bring in honey and flowers. If you're wanting protection, bring in obsidian. That aligns with my goddess. She actually, her uterus, like her yoni, is made out of shark teeth obsidian to protect her from trauma and a lot of these negative energies. So we can use obsidian for protection. Is my favorite ancestral stone. Um, and even salt. But yeah, just align your offerings with whatever you're talking to your ancestors about. But again, from the heart, I love just giving them water and like
Yes.
a flower, you know, just like the simplest thing. So yeah.
So is there any do's and don'ts as you've learned throughout your way? And we're about to close it out, but
Yeah.
the last of it, is there any do's and don'ts when it comes down to working with, like, as a newbie, we're talking about people who haven't really gotten to it. Is there any do's and don'ts that you would say, like, don't, like you said,
Mm.
don't ask for anything in return, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because people, one thing I've learned, and I'm a part of these groups on YouTube, I mean on YouTube or on Facebook, and a lot of these people want to like use these saints and these deities, and they're
Mm,
like, I want to get this money and I want it now. And then they get upset.
No, we ain't doing that over here. Mm-mm.
They get upset when the saints or these deities don't give it to them,
Right.
or they make a deal with certain deities, right? Like, not everybody's supposed to work with certain deities or saints
Yeah.
or gods or goddesses, whatever it is that
Mm.
they go with this discretion. And then they make a deal like, okay, I'm gonna give you this for this, and then what happens
That's a
is,
sacrifice.
like,
They,
simple,
that's not an offering, y'all. That's a sacrifice. We
like
are sacrificing something.
literally, Alegua
Yo,
is one of he's a trickster. So it's just
for
like,
real.
when
Hmm.
you deal with Alegua, you have to also deal with his personality. And
Right?
some people might get deterred from working with deities or working with certain
Mm.
angels, spirit guides, whatever the case may be, because they might get something bad, after.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
why I'm
Okay.
asking, like, as a
Yeah,
newbie.
that's a really good question. I really do think the first thing you should do, like you do, is to connect with your ancestors, connect with where your family is from, whether it's your grandparents, your parents, even if it's not your ancestral land. Where did you grow up? Where do you have history? Connect with your those spirits, and only call on your highly elevated ancestors, because we have spirits that are stuck in limbo. We have spirits that are stuck in their own karma. So you want to make sure you're calling through, those praying grandmothers, the aunties, those spirit warriors from like those times that you need them for protection. So definitely know the differences, like you said, between the spirits. Like if you need protection and you have a warrior ancestor or a cousin that who passed away now, but when he was on the street, he was out here, like you're calling on him to come do the fucking work for you, bro. And like, so I be doing that, and you're gonna put in the machete, or you're gonna put the something on the altar, and you're gonna tell them, protect me with this. I call on you, because like you said, they need your instruction. And if they're not your ancestor, they ain't gonna move quick for you. These saints got all these people, millions and billions of people calling on them every moment. So that's why you work with your ancestors. And yeah, when it has to do with your practice, I would say listen to yourself, listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, because you'll come into this space where it is spirituality. This is the psyche. This is people, like you said, who are using their magic for the wrong reasons. So we
Yes.
need to bring back the truth, like Sun
Yes.
Ra. Truth don't exist. We need to bring the truth back. We need to bring back the protocol. The like you can't be throwing this without thinking that's gonna happen. And um, yeah, I had one more thing to say. Um, yeah, boundaries, protection, and no one knows you better than you. You know, no reader, not your parents, not the gods. You know you. So you are magic for me is only it like enhances who you already are. You don't need to do the magic to do what you need to do. But occultists, we use certain colors, we use certain herbs, who like whatever. You will use your magic for the right thing, and just stay practical with it. In the shower, talking to your elders, the way you talk to your kid, talk to yourself. There ain't no sage or spell like Juju Bay said on this show recently. That will help you. Um, you have to help yourself. From then, your ancestors and the universe gonna catch you. It's like the fool. You just gotta jump into the ocean and just let that shit
Yeah. And it's
flow.
not
So
easy,
it's not.
when you go through one thing I want to say to all my newbies that want to get into the occult life or you want to get into being a practitioner, this is not easy. It is not
No.
easy. It is
No.
not easy to be a practitioner. It's not easy to be able to protect yourself from unwanted and people that's attacking you, or just dealing with clients that might have karma or
Oh, I've dealt with
energy.
that. Don't even.
Right. So there needs to be
Ah,
boundaries and there needs to be a way for all of us to be able to protect ourselves. And sometimes that means that we have to reflect and mean like, you know what, I'm not going to take no readings.
mhm.
I'm not going to do no readings right now.
Yes.
I'm not. You
Mhm.
have to learn how to be discerned with your
Yes.
energy when you're reading. Because if you
Hmm.
give too much, sometimes you get depleted, sometimes you get sick,
I know
sometimes you
that.
notice that things get
Yep.
it gets very bad. So as
Oh no.
what happened?
We're back.
Oh,
We're back.
the deity, I
Hmm.
just want to wrap it up, but I just want to say for everyone that is new and it's initiated or someone that wants to get into the occult life and getting into this, please take your time. Like,
Yes.
the Papa says she they took their time with this and they had to realize there was boundaries. You have to work with your
Mm.
ancestors, and it's an everyday thing.
Yes.
So please make sure if you guys really like this, this is their Instagram. Okay, Instagram. This is the
Yes.
PayPal.
Perfect.
Um, the reading was amazing. I wanted to cry, but I had to hold in the thugness. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I
I'm
was like
always
this.
crying. I'm like that
I was like
ancestral
this.
spirit.
I
I'm
was
like
like, yeah, I don't want to cry because it was
the
so good.
Pisces.
I felt so connected to it, even down to the herbs that you said. Like when it comes
Yeah.
down to like drink and consuming,
Yes.
um, we're about to end the Hoodoo Heritage Month, but
Yes.
actually,
Yes.
funny thing is, not I know we go over it, the
Yes.
herbs that you actually had recommended was also herbs that the Hoodoo Heritage was speaking about. So it's interesting that you said turmeric, that you said
Yes.
pepper, that you said certain things because that's how you know that we're all connected. It doesn't matter
Connected.
where you're
Mhm.
from. We are all connected because that you saying that is just like wow, that's crazy because this is the herbs. That's why it's very
Yes.
important for us to learn the what is in season, what is not in season, what to
Yes.
use, what not to use. Take out the cinnamon, take out the nutmeg,
Yes.
take out the turmeric, take out the
Yes.
allspice. And
Yes.
what happens is that you think that is just for you, but collectively the collective worldwide is in
Yes.
tune with each
Using it.
other. We're in tune with
Yes.
each other. So
Yes.
thank you,
Yes.
girl. I
No
appreciate you.
worries.
This was amazing. I trust that you're gonna get some sales, or there's gonna be people that's gonna patronize you, patronize your Instagram. And I already know that we have some supporters. We have our brujas that was burning candles, protecting this energy, protecting the oil
Yes.
as we speak. I had made sure I reached out to my friend from Costa Rica. We have people from
Yes.
all parts of the world that's right here, right
Same.
now.
We did the
Yes,
same thing. It was like,
yes,
come in.
we aren't
Period.
playing no more, because guess what?
Yeah.
There's gonna be those what they will call those glitches where people are going to try to throw because they don't
Hmm.
want this enlightenment. They don't want people to know
Hmm.
about these things. But we
Yeah,
had to
no.
make sure we collectively protect our
Yeah.
covenant and make sure that we were all good. So
Period. Oh my God. I
if y'all
love
like
this.
this, I
Thank
really
you so
trust.
much.
No
Thank
problem,
you.
girl. Listen, make sure y'all go and y'all check out her. This is her Instagram. Make sure you do what you have to do, and share this with a friend. Baby, I'm gonna get off this.
Yeah.
I'm thirsty as hell. I forgot my water in the other room.
Yeah, no. Same.
I love you, girl. Thank you so
Love you
much.
too. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
All
Modi order.
right.
Bye.